Good afternoon. Today we're going to present some articles about sustainable supply chain, and the team is formed by Linda Pelayo, Maximiliano Reyes, and Carolina Miguel. Here's the table of concepts that we're going to see today. First, we're going to talk about the sustainable supply chain concept, optimization and simulation models, and trends. And then an article about a more sustainable supply chain, and we're going to finish with some examples of sustainable supply chain.
Okay, for the first article, we have the sustainable supply chain concepts, optimization and simulation models, and trends. So starting with 1994, Elgiton proposed the triple bottom line, where he refers to the organizational performance as the management of not only the economic capital, but also the environmental and social capitals. So he describes 3 dimensions. Next, please. The first one is the environmental dimension, which involves concerns about emissions from the source, dumping and environmental waste, to later focus on the local environment, considering the entire life of the product. It currently focuses on the capacity of ecosystems to continue providing goods and services. The second dimension, the social dimension. It includes corporate social responsibility, which involves ethical decision making in fields such as relationships with employees, community participation, and business administration management. And the last one, economic dimension, consists of the total value improvement and cost reduction of the supply chain from the business management perspective, and as well as strategic of sustainable initiatives that push the company's finances and marketing forward. Okay, we have the green supply chains and modeling, which says the green supply chain quantitative model and classify into 5 types: the mathematical programming methods, simulation methods, heuristic methods, hybrid methods, and analytic models. So in this case, we only focus on the mathematical programming models and simulation. The application for this model is found in different sectors: food, biofuel, fashion, waste, electrical, and electronic equipment. In the field of mathematical programming, stay out by aiming to minimize the total cost and carbon emissions. Linear models, non-linear, fractional, and routine. Related to their functions of this model and objectives with social factors, we have found that this model maximizes the number of employees, evaluate suppliers, reduce work days lost due the work accidents, and maximize food safety. So we can say that the concept of sustainability has earned great relevance in all directions, incorporating itself into the supply chain with its 3 dimensions, like I was saying, which beyond economic benefits are oriented toward to the importance of supply chain actors to contribute to the environment and society. And for the type of modeling, it has a total benefit, mentioning above economic and social benefits are here, and with a good following up with the firm, they will be able to meet the objectives of the model.
Okay, then we have a more sustainable supply chain. But the sustainable supply chain, we have that many multinational corporations sincerely want to embed for labor practices and environmental responsibility through their supply networks. They should send their suppliers a more consistent message that economic, social, and environmental requirements are all important. This message should be clear to their procurement officials and create incentives for them to pursue not only economic goals but also environmental and social goals. Those officials should take a hands-on approach to collecting data about suppliers' capacity, monitoring indicators of their sustainable performance, and engaging with them in continuous improvement programs. Some beneficial measures that other companies should consider adopting based on this article are the next ones. Establishing long-term sustainability goals, requiring first-tier suppliers to set their own long-term sustainability goals, including lower tier suppliers in the overall sustainability strategy, and testing a point person on staff with extending the firm sustainability program to first and lower tier suppliers. Like in this process. Okay. Awareness is key. Companies should consider adopting the best practices featured in this article, such as establishing long-term sustainability goals and including the lower tier suppliers in our overall sustainability strategy.
Well, for the last one, I will explain. I will present some examples of a sustainable supply chain. Samsung is a company of cell phones that they are making microchips that have less environment impact. So we became the chips became the power of 2,700,000 pine trees. Samsung Semiconductor obtained ULS zero waste to landfill certification and recycle research and quality certification from the Ministry of Environment. That are some of the examples what Samsung is doing for our environment and trying to help the world with this type of supply chain. Another example of a sustainable supply chain, it would be like the management of the chemical products that affects the environment of Samsung and the Samsung employees. Samsung Semiconductors cares deeply about the environment and the health of their employees, and that is why have the strict protocols and systems in place when it comes to handling the chemicals, and why they work hard to minimize the negative effects of the chemicals they are used. They always trying to have less impact in the environment, and also caring about the employees, and always trying to take these type of sustainable supply chain for helping the environment. So these are some of regulations that Samsung takes to apply this type of sustainable supply chain.
As a conclusion, I can say that knowing all these concepts gave me a new perspective about what it means to be a social responsible company with the environment. And it is important to say that at this point, all companies need to be sustainable due to the climate change. They need to be aware of everything that implies being a green supply chain.
About the second article, we have like the relevance of like taking in consideration the three dimensions of the sustainable development, which are the economic, environmental, and social, and taking them into account to the reverse from customers to the stakeholders.
To summarize everything that we see in the examples, it's very important. Many companies trying to take this type of sustainable supply chain because the climate changing is a reality. So we have to take this type of supply chains for help for the environment, and it's important that the government's always trying to push the companies in the private sector to have these sustainable ways to do their business, and always trying to help the environment. These are our reference, and thank you for watching.